Alright, I'm gonna give this a go now because I wanted to make this video. I've tried to do it like 5 times since about December, but I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on it now. The thing that really gets me with the internet now is I've been using it for fucking since 2016 when I was a wee lad, so I was still pretty young then. And 2016 was also the age where everybody on the internet was telling each other to kill themselves and you're a faggot and you're this and that, but piss and all that. Because despite all of what I just said, the internet used to have, it's gotten worse. And somehow it's gotten worse than that. Because the problem with the internet now is there's just no sympathy for anybody on here. Okay? And the reason I made this video, the reason I'm even recording this is because I just watched a video from somebody I've watched for years too, Simple Flips. He made a video talking about a guy from the Smash Bros. Melee community called Hacks. And this guy tried to commit suicide and then he ended up dying because of medical complications, all because of an internet community that treated him like total utter dog shit and gave him no sympathy, no respect, and just did not care for him. And realistically, in that community, people treated him like he was the devil incarnate in that community, just because there was no reason. That's the whole thing that makes me so mad, and that's why I just decided to do it now, is because people hated on that guy for absolutely no reason. And here's the thing is that everybody has problems in their life. I've got problems in my life. You've got problems in your life. But people took this guy and just beat the ever living hell out of him for no reason whatsoever. He did nothing wrong that warranted such a fucking absolute tidal wave of hatred his way. He did nothing. He did nothing that deserved any of that. And that right there is my big gripe with the way the internet is now, is these fucking people on the internet are just the absolute most toxic. Well, actually, I'll do this. The most toxic, unforgiving, uncaring people I have seen in my entire life. And here's the reason behind that too is because it's like a business model now. You have to be a toxic dickhead to people because that's what gets the views and the clicks and the engagement and all that happy horse shit is when you act like a complete ass clown to people and you act like a dickhead to people, that's when you get people looking your way. You know, nobody on the internet that has a big platform that acts like this cares about it because they actually act like that. They would do it because of the money. And also, I misspoke there. A lot of people do act like this because when they're on the internet, they don't realize that they're talking to other people. Right now, as I'm recording this, I'm looking into my C920 webcam, and I realize if you're looking at this video and I'm looking at you, you're looking at me because you're looking at a person, and you're a person looking at the video. I acknowledge your existence. These other people that act like this and talk like this and fucking do all this kind of garbage don't see people on the internet as other people. They just see them as like pixels on a screen or a statistic or a number or dollar signs or what have you. And that's just how unsympathetic people are. It all comes down to statistics. It all comes down to cash in their pocket and happiness out of your soul. It does. And I've seen it get worse and worse and worse. And I think the big reason for that is social media. And not just because social media becoming more and more and more popular every single fucking day, but also because it gives the wrong people the loudest platform. It gives them the biggest soapbox to stand on. So these people can spout their bullshit ideologies and opinions, even if they're, well, not even opinions too, but like facts. They try and pass off their own facts in their own mind as being real, and if you don't follow them, then you're just a loser and you ought to go kill yourself. That's the kind of fucking people that do this shit, where they push these kind of ideologies. It's fucking ridiculous. And then these people get more and more popular, and then what ends up happening is these people have all the power in the world. It doesn't matter who they are and how shitty they are. They're always going to have sheep. They're always going to have sheep behind them, ready to defend them, just because they want a slice of that popularity as well. And I think there's an idea I always think of too is being nice or being kind or showing respect to other people is seen as a weakness now. Like, why the fuck is that even a thing? I don't get that. Because, like, if I were to go out to a store and hold a door for somebody, that's weakness in the eyes of these fucking lunatics. Are you shitting me? Saying thank you to somebody for, them helping me do something is seen as a weakness, or trying to cheer somebody up after, they have an emotional bout and they're down in the dumps or sad or something, and that's seen as a weakness. These people are fucking lunatics. And that right there is why I do not use any social media. I use YouTube and I use Discord. That's the only two things I use on this godforsaken fucking internet, because everything else makes me want to rip my fucking eyes out of my head because of how just absolutely fucking horrible it is. And I've seen the internet just get worse and worse over time in many aspects, but the absolute worst aspect of it all is just everybody becoming just unsympathetic, not caring, just showing no remorse for anybody, not being apologetic. Like, it's fucking sickening. It really is. And the sucky part about it is that the internet's just gotten more popular, so more people are going to be exposed to this kind of behavior. What ends up happening is that more people get fucking forced into this, where they think acting like this is normal. But what they got to realize is that they're not talking to a faceless robot on the other side of the screen. They're talking to another fucking person, another living human being. But people on the internet don't think like that anymore. They don't, because people just look at each other on the internet as like fucking punching bags to use to take out and vent their frustration on. They don't realize that they've got their own problems. Then they're talking to a person who also has their own problems, but nobody thinks like that. Everybody just fucking goes on there and just yells all kind of inane bullshit that they want to. Fucking I just half the time you can't even put it into words because of how fucking ridiculous it is. And I mean that. It is utterly, utterly fucking ridiculous. And I've seen so many people I know, friends of mine even, fall into that trap of thinking of shit like this. We're thinking like, being misogynistic towards women and still wanting pussy is the way to go. That right there is thanks to the fucking internet, and that was pushed into my friends' minds when they were still young. They're thinking, oh, we ought to hate women just because they're weaker than us, but we're still gonna use them for the pussy. That's all we care about is just having sex with them. That right there is like when I really started seeing that, and that was about 3 years ago. When Andrew Tate and his fucking stupid shit was becoming popular, and it's just gotten fucking, it's horrible. It's horrible now. It's just gonna keep getting worse too, because social media is just gonna keep handing these fucking dickheads the wrong people. They're gonna keep giving them the most power, and then these people are gonna keep forcing that power onto things that are bad. And then what's gonna end up happening is that more and more and more and more people are going to start acting like that, where they're going to start thinking, well, this is the way I have to think, if I want to be seen as cool in the eyes of these people that don't even know I fucking exist. They want to act the same way. They want to act a fool and run amok just because they want to slice the internet popularity, when at the end of the day it is so, so utterly fucking stupid. And that all comes down to people boiling everything down to numbers and treating everything as statistics and punching bags, and not treating people like people.